Guys, I want to talk about executive stock options today on how they work, what are the reasons we even have them, and basics of accounting for them. These are short for ESO. Let me see, five. Oh, here, everybody's here today. Uh, First question is, why do we even have them? Who's going to tell me? Why do you think we even have executive stock options? And you don't have to know, what do you think? I'm more interested in what do you think? I mean, I'm going to tell you why I think we have them, but do you guys know what they are? Okay. I don't know if I told you guys this. Let me show you an example. I'm going to look at Silicon Valley Bank. For example, there's a filing called Statement of Changes in Beneficial Ownership. When a firm is publicly traded, large shareholders and especially top executives, they have to disclose what they bought, sold, and that sort of stuff. On 27th of February, literally about a week before SVB went down, this guy, Gregory Becker, he's the president and CEO of SVB. He, let me see, bought about 12,500 shares at 105.18, and on the same day he sold them at around between 285 and 288. You're thinking, the market didn't move that much. How do you think that happened? We talked about options, right? He must have had options to buy stock at 105.18. Okay. And as an executive, they regularly get those options. At the end of each fiscal year for the firm, board decides that certain executives should be given executive stock options. These are almost always granted at the money. So if at the end of the year stock closed at $100, they give you the right to buy the firm's own stock at $100 a share at some point for the next 10 years once it's vested. Typically, there is a vesting period, 3 years. You cannot actually exercise that right during that vesting period. But once the vesting period is over, those options are vested. Whether you are with the firm or outside of the firm, you can use them. And this guy used them. Let's see when SVB stock was at 105.18 last. Let's see. Maybe I can see it in Robinhood. The stock is still there. Oh, it's already delisted. Okay, let's look at it from uh, SVB stock price. Over the last 5 years, the minimum it was 139 in 2020. Let's do max. Yeah, at the end of December, it was around that range, December 2015. So this guy probably had been given that right, or maybe around, if it's, yeah, maybe in 2016, I don't know, somewhere around that range. He was given that right. And oddly enough, let's look at I'm showing this to, let's look at 6 months. Right before the collapse, I mean, about 6 months before the collapse, this stock was trading at $376. This guy actually chose not to exercise that option when it was trading at 376. Let's look at 1 year. About a year ago, it was trading almost at over $500. Again, this guy chose not to exercise that option. Typically, when you choose not to exercise an option, you think it's going to go higher, right? Especially these kinds of, because these options are not publicly traded. So you can't simply go to Robinhood and say, oh, I want to sell this option. You either exercise it or you don't. I mean, you can technically sell a call option in Robinhood, but that's illegal. Uh, you're effectively shorting your own company when you sell a call option in the open market. You know, a CEO shorting their own company is illegal. Them selling their own stock is not illegal. Okay. So this guy, about a year before it collapsed, chose not to exercise his options. But for some reason, just let me see. Let's do year to date. Just about a week before it collapsed, he chose to exercise his options. What do you think that means? I mean, you work for SEC fraud department. Is that a big red flag? It is, because he knew it was coming. Okay, or he knew it was likely that it was coming. Because that week they were actually actively looking for $2 billion of capital in the market. They ended up not getting that, and they had to disclose that. Once they disclosed it, there was a run. Had, I mean, there was about 40 billion withdrawn. Had Fed not got in, people were in line to withdraw about 90% of all deposits, and they were all non-insured deposits. But these guys knew it was coming in, so he made quite a bit of money. Let me see. $12,000 for 99, I think, times he profited over $2.2 million on that. It's not much of a golden parachute in the scales of these days, but it is a parachute. Okay. At the end of the day, the guy also lost his job. There's a good reason he should have anyway. This was a classic case of mismanaging the risk. Anyway, the reason you give executive stock options is there are many reasons. One, to retain high valued employees. High value doesn't necessarily mean they get paid a lot, but important people to the firm. This is done through the 3-year vesting period. If the employee leaves before options are vested, they forfeit any unvested options. And that could mean a lot of money. To give incentives to the top management to take risky but otherwise valuable projects. Since by definition, options allow full participation in the upside. So if you keep doing good things for the firm and firm's stock price goes up as a result of that, and you have those options, you're going to fully participate in that rally.